Ashkhen. I'd like to welcome you to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy Sunday service. Thank you for coming here today. A couple of housekeeping rules. Please silence your cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. Restrooms are down the hall, back to the right as you go out the door. There's drinks in the back, hot drinks, cold drinks. Help yourself at any time during the service. I'd like to have Ashkhen light the candles, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit, to start the service. She says she's never lit the candles before. She's been here 2 or 3 years.
Oh, no. I guess I am the light.
Is that spirit?
Now we know why.
I'll be honored. I am honored.
I'm just going to go right with my thought for the day today about disorder in your life. All 3 of them were clean
Yeah, she
today.
did.
That's
What a
good.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the first hymn. Take an attitude of prayer, please. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment here today. May we feel the presence of the divine guidance, the unlimited peace of hope, and may we feel the presence of those with us, spiritually as well as physically. May we greet everyone here within friendship and love. Amen.
Amen.
The next portion is a thought for the day from the pastor, where I think about something that's gone on in the past week and try to put it into a spiritual perspective of that I'm trying to bring into my life. And this week what came to me was relationships. And it seems that about 90% of my time is taken up in relationships, either family or work or the church or something of that nature. While I was contemplating the dynamics of relationships, I was reading something that was given to me, and they started talking about the purpose of spiritual enlightenment was to have zero entropy in your life. And I had to look the word entropy up. I knew the word, but I didn't know what the meaning of it was. And what entropy is, it's a scientific term that measures the disorder of something while it's being subjected to different forces. So the purpose of spiritual enlightenment is to get zero disorder in your life as you move along. Now that may sound interesting and not very feasible, so I thought a little bit more about that. Zero disorder in my life. I mean, we're affected by the world around us. We're affected by everything that goes on with us. So how do you have zero disorder in your thoughts and in your life through spiritual enlightenment? And what I realized was that enlightenment does not remove troublesome people from your existence. It does not remove troublesome circumstances from your existence. What it does is it makes you value different things more. So these troublesome circumstances and people affect you less. And as you value the higher values of peace and harmony in your life, of understanding others and allowing them the right to be mistaken, as I used to say, and allowing people to be who they are. You want to be allowed to be who you are, so in return you have to allow other people to be who they are. You can't dictate to them to make it more harmonious in your life. If somebody agrees to do something that they don't really want to do, eventually they're going to stop doing it. So you have to see that person as they are, judge how much of that you want in your relationship and in your life, and act accordingly rather than try to change somebody to being somebody that's more agreeable to you. You don't want to be changed, and neither do they, regardless of how difficult they're being, how obstinate they're being, or how going against the flow they are. They don't want to be changed any more than you do. So you have to allow them the same freedom that you're wanting to be allowed to stop the disruption in your life. You can only control what you think and what you do. So by embracing the different philosophies and theories of spiritual enlightenment, what I have found in my life is I choose to value the peace and harmony more than I do the disorder. And believe it or not, we all kind of like that disorder and that drama at some point. It gets to be the fuel that makes us run sometimes. You know, we kind of step up and re-engage when somebody says, oh yeah, you know, one of those kind of things. So don't do the oh yes. Stay connected to the peace and harmony. And it's very similar to that, a philosophy that they teach now that's pretty widely known. It was originally taught by the original 12-step program to value the spiritual awakening more than you value what the drinking wants you to do. And that's, I quit drinking when I was 35. I still have the urges, the attacks once in a while, especially when I'm riding my motorcycle on a Sunday afternoon, riding by a bar and see all the loud music and the hoorah and carrying on. You know, I wonder why, I just, it doesn't make any sense to me why I can't go in there and have a beer. And then my common sense comes back to me and says, you remember what you were like when you did that. You can't be any other way when you do that, so don't think you can. If you're going to have a drink, realize what comes with it, and that's what you want to do with your life. So that's me valuing what I have in my life now more than the drama and disorder. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the heck out of that disorder for quite a number of years. Don't have any regrets about doing it. It's just not what I want in my life right now. It's not what I value in my life. It's not what moves me where I need to be moved. And that's my personal responsibility for it. So as we move into a sense of enlightenment, it's not this blinding light that cures all ills and makes you float on a cloud above life's disruptions. It makes you value that which you already have within you more than the disorder and disruption. Thank you for listening. Please stand for the next hymn.
Let's do hymn number 6 in the gold pages. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya.
healing portion. Judy need the healing today. For those of you that aren't familiar, you can have a seat in the chair in front of Judy while she's, when it becomes vacant. You'll hear this during the meditation. That means that the chair has become vacant. Somebody else can go over there. If the chair is taken, you can sit in one of the chairs in the back and move you forward as the chair becomes vacant. To start this portion, Ashkhen will lead us in the guided meditation, but to start this, we'll read the prayer for spiritual healing in the bold on the back of the hymnal. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Good morning. Good morning. Get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit where there is no tension on your physical body. Feet straight on the floor. Palms up in your laps. Just sit comfortably. Take in a few deep breaths and close your eyes if you wish. Breathe in and breathe out, and with your exhale, let go of the tension if there is any in your physical body. Of the thoughts that are occupying your mind. If you have any worries, any concerns at this time, with your exhale, just breathe it out and let it go for now. Bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. Engage with the rhythm of your breath. While you breathe in and out, feel your body becoming more and more relaxed, and your mind more and more quiet. Just follow your breath. That is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very peaceful and quiet presence. That feels calm and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence. While you breathe, repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, flowing along with your breath throughout your entire body, your mind, your spirit. Feel the quietness of your mind and the peacefulness of your breath. This is the true state of your consciousness. This is your divine presence. You are meant to be at peace always. Regardless of what goes around in your life. You are meant to be at peace. Embrace this peaceful aspect of your consciousness and be still. Be still within. For it is in this stillness that you sense wholeness. For it is in the silence and the quietness you feel content. Content with who you are. You are an infinite being, a multi-dimensional being. Embrace this infinite aspect of your being. In this stillness, feel your consciousness shifting higher. Above your head and connecting with your higher self that is surrounded with brilliant golden light. There are no thoughts in this state of consciousness, for it is a pure state of being. Become aware of this presence, and with this heightened state of awareness, feel your awareness expanding further out and higher, and connecting with the universal consciousness. Feel your connection in those higher dimensions of light. As you once existed as a pure and perfect thought in the mind of your Creator. Feel your connection to these dimensions. Your connection with the stars, the moon, the sun, and the solar system, and the planets. Feel your connection to planet Earth, to all the minerals, the mountains, the crystals. Feel your consciousness evolving with this infinite awareness. Feel your connection with the plants, with the ocean, the rivers, the streams of waters, feel your connection with all the animals, the forest, feel this creative power, the force within you that kept evolving and evolving to a new creation, to a new perception, to a new awareness. Feel your connection to the human race everywhere. As you connect with this entire creation, you feel the universal consciousness that is within each soul, within every sentient being. Feel your connection with this infinite creation. That is unlimited, with no boundaries. Feel this oneness consciousness, for you become one within and with everything, and with everybody. Breathing with the same breath, the breath of your Creator, God the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Feel your peaceful breath, a form of peaceful energy that is swirling everywhere. Know that you have the power to create. Create your realities. Apply your universal understanding and the infinite potentials of your consciousness to any situation you would like to see it transform for better. Rise above the human conditions, the human limitations, and focus on the perfection that is within each individual. For in God's mind, we are perfect. With God's heart, we are love. Our essence is love. See yourself as a beacon of light that's projecting golden light. And creating light, cities of light everywhere. Stand tall in your divinity and let your light shine. Wherever you are, whatever you do, just be the light that you are. Be the love that you are. And so it is. That is bringing you back slowly. Become aware of your physical senses. Become aware of your feet, your hands. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Ashkhen, for that beautiful meditation. If you're ready, please stand for the next hymn.
Ground yourselves.
Hymn number 7 in the gold pages. This little light of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I see my neighbor, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Please be seated. A little longer for the amen corner to get going, but it's going, so.
Pressure over here. Yeah, like pressure.
You mean I've got this whole side open?
Come on, clap.
Clap on.
We're all here in spirit. The next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture, and today we have Reverend Kathy Quick to give us our talk. Our talk's going to be on the 5 signposts of spiritual growth. Reverend Kathy Quick is an ordained interfaith minister since 1990. Received an initiation from Swami Muktananda in 1979 and taught meditation and yoga philosophy ever since. So, most of us know her. She's been around the church for 1 or 2 days. Teaches different classes in her home all the time, just because she wants to do it, not to make any money at it. Anybody that does this to make money at it and generally ends up disappointed. So you do it out of love, and what happens, happens. So please welcome Reverend Kathy Quick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here, to be with all of you. I prepared a talk based on what I've been practicing and studying for over 30 years, which is the teachings from the East, the Eastern philosophy. And really, I think you'll be able to relate to it and very much relate to what Reverend Steve shared this morning. Whenever we embark on a path to achieve a goal, we look for and need some indication that we are making progress toward that goal. For instance, I've embarked on a weight loss program, and that requires a certain discipline, and I know that I have to watch the input, and I have to increase the output of energy. Now I can wait to see if I look thinner and fool myself for a very long time, or I can take out that scale, that dreaded scale, and step on it. And that'll be a truth, a true measure, a signpost. Am I doing enough in terms of perhaps cutting down my portions, perhaps, walking? It will tell me what adjustments I need to make without wasting too much time. So in the same way, thousands of years ago, teachers from the East also came up with a scale, a signpost for sincere spiritual seekers to be able to determine, after so many years of attending lectures, so many years of attending classes, so many years of coming to various spiritual services, so many years of meditation and prayer, have I really made any progress? We like to think we have, and we do. But these signposts are the scale. It's yes or it's no, and it gives us a guideline of where we may need to do some internal tweaking. Nobody else is going to tell us that, and nor should they. Only we know. So in yoga, the first signpost is discrimination. And when they talk about having discrimination, what they're referring to is the discrimination between what they call the real versus the unreal. And I myself had a hard time accepting that basically everything in this world is unreal. What do you mean it's unreal? Isn't this wall real? That's not what they mean. By the real, they mean that which is eternal, that which is everlasting. Sometime we can say, as a substitute for what is real, we can say God, we can say energy, we can say spirit, we can say the I am that I am. We can call it by many names. Sometimes in yoga philosophy they call it the real. So what is the unreal? The unreal is everything else. Everything else. Because everything else is subject to change. Even the tallest skyscraper or the most expensive car, leave it outside in the rain, in the sun, and you will see it deteriorating. So things that are man-made are unreal. The thoughts that I have, and we all have, are unreal. They're real in the moment, very real in the moment. But they're always fluctuating. What I'm thinking today, I'm not thinking tomorrow. My emotions, according to this philosophy, are not real. Because today I'm feeling one thing, and 5 minutes from now I may be thinking or feeling something else. The circumstances of our life, according to yoga philosophy, is not real. Because I'm talking here, 5 minutes or 10 minutes from now I'll be sitting in the next 5 minutes. All the circumstances of our life, from the smallest little detail to the bigger picture. 1 minute I'm healthy, 1 minute I'm sick. 1 minute I have a job, I go to work, I have notice, you're gone. So basically our whole life is on this shifting sand beneath our feet. And if we put, as Reverend Steve said, a lot of value on worldly things and worldly pursuits, we're going to have a very dry taste in our mouth, because it will never sustain us. It's always shifting. So what we learn, the first signpost according to yoga philosophy, is that a spiritual seeker needs to have discrimination between what is real, meaning what is worth pursuing and valuing. Where do we place our time, our energy, and our money in doing? Or are we still chasing after the unreal? And until we make that distinction and understand the differences in the value, it's very hard to make progress because we're too scattered. So that's the first signpost. The second signpost of spiritual growth is what yoga calls detachment. I had a hard time with that one too. I think I have a hard time with it all. Because to me, detachment meant I didn't care, and I'm a very caring person. But I was wrong. I'm learning what true detachment is. And it's a process. When you realize that this world is unreal, meaning a mirage, a passing show, without much value per se, then one stops chasing after worldly values. Not 100%, of course. We live in the world and we're here to enjoy the world. But not with the same intensity, not with the same caring. There is a detachment, whether we want it or not. It automatically comes. There's a detachment. And you don't get so upset over what's going on in the world. It's just a passing show. So some of the signs that we may experience in our life is the addiction to having the television on. Some people, the first thing they get up in the morning, the TV's on. When you suddenly, you don't care so much about what people are doing and how they're doing it and what they're doing to whom, you turn off the TV. You turn it on for certain shows, for a certain period of time, and that's it. Another thing that falls away is having newspaper delivery. How many have canceled their newspaper subscription or never had one? Another sign that you may experience in your life is that you stop doing aimless activity. I see people walking the mall, not just for exercise, but they're at the mall, they're at the mall, they're at the mall. What can they do? It's aimless activity. We all do it just to pass the time. That kind of stops. And you stop spending money on things that you really don't need. You want, but the discrimination comes, do I want this or do I need it? And so your life becomes more fine-tuned. And what that does is you save a lot of time and you save a lot of money, and you get redirected to pursuing things of value, such as taking meditation classes, such as prayer and meditation, such as buying holy books and actually having the time, because you're not sitting watching TV, to read some of them. So these are some of the signs. Another sign that will come when you have attained the signpost of discrimination and detachment is that you can spend time alone in your own company and you're not bored. You actually enjoy your own company and you're aware that though you may be alone, you're not alone. In that silence, in that stillness, you become aware that there is a presence. There is an energy. And it could be called God, it could be called whatever. We will use various interchangeable names, but you become aware, I may be alone, but I'm not alone. And it's a very uplifting and comforting feeling. So know that if our life is sort of changing and we have that experience, we have attained the signpost, discrimination and detachment, which takes us to the third signpost, which is mental and emotional steadiness in the midst of the pairs of opposites, as yoga calls it, pairs of opposites. So what are they? They pretty much make up our everyday experiences. The opposites are, it can be blazing in the sun, blazing hot, 100 degrees and more, or the opposite, it's freezing, it's cold. The average person, oh, I'm so hot, or oh, this is terrible. They're greatly affected. Or the sun is shining, it's a gorgeous day, or it's cloudy and miserable and it hasn't stopped raining in days. Another pair of opposite is when you get complimented, either on looking good or on something you've done that turned out particularly well. Or, on the other hand, you're blamed for something that you didn't do. And we've all experienced that as well. Or, one minute we're healthy and fine and moving along, and the next minute we're rushing ourselves off to the emergency room or the hospital where something has happened and we don't know what's wrong, but we're not well. Or we're flush with cash, we have plenty of cash in our pocket and we can take classes and go out for a meal in the restaurant and buy what we want. And Something happens and we're cash poor. We have to watch every single penny. So this is life. The average person is greatly affected. And so when they get a praise or they get a compliment or things are going well, they're in a good mood. When it shifts to the opposite, not such a good mood. And those people are, and myself included and all of us, you could be called unsteady mentally or emotionally if you have these huge swings in emotion. Now, why is that bad? If you're on the spiritual path and you sit for meditation and you'd like to sit for meditation, if your mind is turbulent, meditation will be very difficult. If when these upsets occur, and they do occur, you can maintain a steadiness, more or less find yourself in that position of being a witness to the drama instead of a participant. One of the examples that we hear in yoga is you become like a hot knife going through butter. Things may be a little bit rocky, but you're not rocky. You're like this hot knife, and yes, you'll deal with the situations as they arise, but you're not shaken. So if that's beginning to occur, or if things happen and you can let it go, instead of going on mentally for days and days and days, I should have said this and this and this, and blaming yourself and blaming others, if you can simply let it go and move on, know that you are attaining and have passed or within that third signpost of mental and emotional steadiness in the midst of the pairs of opposites. The fourth signpost of spiritual growth that yoga talks about is unshakable faith in the Lord. Oftentimes, when something terrible happens, such as sickness, a car accident, someone that we love and cherish passes away, someone that we love and cherish just tells us, it's over, I'm out of here. Things happen. And when they happen, you can lose faith in God. You can say, if there was a God, why would he allow this to happen? Or, what am I doing? I'm doing all this prayer, all this meditation, all this service, and what am I getting? If my life isn't any better, I'm wasting my time. When we've lived long enough, we can be sure that God will test us. There is no one who goes through life without tests. And when these tests come, and they do come without warning, nobody sends you an email, test coming, it just, boom, you're hit. When these tests come, you have to have firm faith, unshakable faith in the Lord, because the winds of change and challenge can be very fierce. And what will happen is we'll be blown away, as they say. We'll be blown far from our path, and we may give up our practices and maybe never even come back to them in this lifetime. So because life is hard at times, yoga says, let's develop firm, unshakable faith in God. Whatever God means to each and every person, never says what that form or no form has to be. Whatever that form is for you, have firm, unshakable faith, so that when the winds blow, we're not blown away. So everyone here who's been tested, and we're still here in church, and we still come every week, and we still praise the name of God, know that you have attained that growth of unshakable faith in the Lord. And the last signpost that I'll speak about today is the fifth signpost, which is intense longing to be one with God. Intense longing for liberation, without which we won't have the strength to endure the course, and we may not reach the goal. I offer a monthly new moon program where we write down on a piece of paper what our goals are, what our hopes and wishes and dreams are that we want to manifest in the coming month. And we share it verbally, and we write it, and we offer it into a fire. That's part of what we do, plus prayer and different things. Not one person has written, "I want to know God." Not one person. I don't think I've ever written that down. I want better health, because my health was really failing. In the last couple of months, I felt myself going down. I've asked for better financial security. I've asked for my grandchildren. I've asked. But as I'm writing this talk, I said to myself, not even I made that a priority. So it's rare. It's rare when somebody has that degree that it's not just one wish among many. It's not just the most intense dream or goal among many. Intense longing for liberation means it's the only goal that we have in life. And it's not easy to attain, but that's the final signpost. Because when we have this intense longing for God, when our heart is just filled with that longing, from top to bottom, from inside out, every second, every minute of every day, know that God will come running to you, to me, and then the goal will be reached. So, these are the 5 signposts, and as we've heard over the last few weeks from the several speakers, like Reverend Phil said last week, meditate, meditate, meditate. If we can do just one practice, it is to establish a meditation practice, a steady meditation practice. The other things help, certainly, but that is the most important. And I would just quickly like to share with you what that may look like. I have about 7 quick points. One, and it may sound like, oh, this is a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised. The first step in establishing a steady meditation practice is that one has to find a place in your home. It sounds simple. And when you live alone, it is relatively simple. But when you're sharing your house with pets and children and a spouse and this thing or that, it may not be so easy. You need to find a room that you can sit in without being a disturbance to others and without them being a disturbance to you. It can't be a place where people have to go back and forth to get clothing and this and that, getting ready for school and getting ready for work. It has to be out of the way. And if we don't have a room dedicated for spiritual practice, then a corner of a room. So that's number one. Find a place where you don't have to think every time, where am I going to sit for meditation? You know that's your corner. The other thing is to have a little table next to your cushion or your chair so that you can have a candle, you can light incense, you can have a picture of somebody who inspires you spiritually, and where you can keep some spiritual books, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Bhagavad Gita, whether it's the book God Calling, whether it's the Course in Miracles. Have a few books that inspire you. Have your CD player. I'm CD, I'm not MP3, I haven't gotten there. You know, a small selection of CDs, things that you can, you're not moving, where's this, where's that, where did I put this? No, you have it established. And you press the click, and there you are with Ashkhen CD, or, you know, you can just sit and meditate to Ashkhen's voice, or, you know, anyone that inspires you. And you're right there, and then you turn it off and you glide into meditation. The other point that I'd like to emphasize is have a timer, especially in the beginning, because sometimes the mind is restless and it's telling you, get up, you've meditated long enough, time is passing, and it's been 5 minutes. So some discipline should be there. No, I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes and I'm going to sit there, and over time my mind will be trained to know that it's 20 minutes, I'm going to settle down. And the other thing is too, we're all busy. If we want to go to work or we have an appointment, we don't want to be late for that appointment. What if I fall asleep? So the mind goes like, you know, crazy. If we set the timer for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, wherever it may be, all those worries will be taken care of. And then another point, especially in the beginning, or if you really want to be steady, my teacher recommended finding a set of clothes that you only use for meditation, not for gardening, grocery shopping, house cleaning, going to the restaurant. Something simple, like a sweatsuit or a pajama, and just keep it for meditation. So that when you get up in the morning, you wash up or you take a shower, you take your meditation outfit out, you put that on, you have a shawl for meditation. It also helps a great deal to bring that energy in and hold that energy in. And a meditation chair, as I said, or a cushion, and you meditate. What that does, believe it or not, as we meditate, we give off a spiritual energy. The energy builds and it fills our aura. That energy accumulates in the fibers of the material. And you don't wash those clothes, you're only wearing them for 20 minutes, half hour or an hour as we build up our time. You fold them back up, you put your shawl, your meditation outfit, your pair of socks, whatever you wear to be comfortable, and you put it back in the drawer. And that's it. So you don't have to wash it for years even. I mean, why would it? You're clean and you meditate. So that's an important tool, especially, as I said, in the beginning, when you need all the help you can to build up. And there's another thing that's very important, and Steve had mentioned this in our healing class. Be consistent with your time. Of course, in yoga, they recommend first thing in the morning, last thing at night. But whatever it is, be consistent, because that too sets a habit. You know, we have a habit. We eat breakfast at a certain time, we eat lunch at a certain time, and our stomach reminds us because it starts getting hungry on schedule. And if we're off schedule, we kind of feel, you know, the hunger pain. Meditation is the same. If you set the time, your body and mind will be habituated, and it'll be much easier for you to keep to that schedule. Secondly, we do have helpers on the other side. We have angel, perhaps, we have spirit guides, we have beings on other dimensions that are working with us. If we keep that commitment, they'll keep their commitment, and they will come. and they will help us grow spiritually, because that's their purpose aligned with our purpose. So all of these are hints on how to establish a meditation practice and how to stick with it. And that's basically it. And I thank you very much for listening, and God bless.